All right, here we go. View of yesterday. Describe the Virginia plan, New Jersey plan. Finally, describe the Connecticut plan, the Great Compromise. What was involved in each plan? There you have it. There you have it. Today, we'll go over the Three-Fifths Compromise, some of the other issues dealing with slavery in the United States that we needed the North and the South to both agree on in order to have our country moving forward in the right direction. So we'll talk about that, and then I'll have an assignment for you, an activity, just for Chapter 2, Section 4, and that's it. How nice would that be? Right out in the sunset for the weekend. That'd be nice. Lydia, what do you think? Awesome. So cool. The bee's knees, right? Easy peasy.
Did you listen to it?
Not yet.
You have to.
I'll listen to it when we're working on the activity. How about that? It's good to play in school, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't. Oh man, maybe we. Well, I guess we can. We'll go out. I'm sure you heard worse, right?
Mhm.
Future and
No.
Eminem, 50 Cent, the NWA. Man, yeah, there is. There is. Chances are you heard it already. Ho! Showing up for class. Yeah. How's it going, man?
I'm not sure what the
Auburn today. How can you do that? I love it. I love it. Yeah, now Alabama shirt on, what, Wednesday?
Yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Okay. And now today you have Auburn. They're big rivals, man.
He has every college shirt.
He does.
Like certain sports teams. Like baseball for
Oh,
Alabama.
yeah.
For Alabama.
Yep. Badminton for Oregon. Oh, that's awesome.
We just give you a little preview.
Yeah.
Little preview.
Yeah.
This is a saxophone or a
Oh, is it-
clarinet. Clarinet.
Really? Squidward getting after it. What, Lydia? Are you surprised to know SpongeBob? No. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it. When was this made? What was this?
The group is easy peasy.
Oh,
Just letters.
yeah. Wow,
Just,
I like it.
across it. Yeah, they have some
That's a good song.
interesting stuff. It's pretty.
It's catchy.
It is.
I was bouncing my head to it, snapping the finger. Lean with it, rock with it. No? No one know that song? Okay. How about 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes. Lydia, what's your shirt off? What's your shirt? I thought it was. That's cool. Awesome mix, part 1 or part 2. I don't know. I'm ready for part 3. Can't wait. Can't wait. Like at the end of the first one. Should do a little bit of that. Good. A little bit of bad. A little bit of both. That part's funny. All righty then. Describe the Virginia plan, New Jersey plan. Let's start off with the Virginia plan. What do we got here? What kind of legislature are they pushing for? Z, go ahead. Bicameral, which means what? 2 houses, right, Devin? 2 chains, 2 houses, right? Yeah, there you go. 2 houses. So we have a lower house who's elected by who? The people. Yeah, good job. And then the upper house elected by the lower house. Oh my gosh, you believe that? Maybe we should have an amendment or something to try to. Well, we'll talk about it soon. Yeah, there you go. All right, and how would representation be based off the Virginia plan? How would representation be kind of played out here for this plan? Hold? Yeah, population. Good job. So if you have a bigger population, if you have more people, you should have more say, right? Yeah, it makes total sense. Makes total sense, except for the smaller states. Darn it. Darn it. Yeah. Okay. So Virginia plan, and who came up with this idea? He's considered the father of the Constitution. Z. Yeah, James Madison. Good job, James Madison. All right, you guys good with that one? The Virginia plan. Bicameral legislature. Upper and lower house elected by the people, upper house elected by the lower house. And then we have representation based off of population. And we can see the larger states wanting that. And they wanted to make sure that they could have a strong national government. You guys good with that? Okay, New Jersey plan. What do we have for the New Jersey plan? Bicameral legislature or unicameral? Devin? Don't let me down.
New Jersey was more
What
power
happened?
to the state government.
Okay, all right, good job. So Confederationists wanted to push for this, anti-federalists, good. So they want to make sure that the national government doesn't come too strong. And is it unicameral or bicameral? Unicameral, good job, awesome, unicameral, good. So 1 house, 1 vote, equal representation amongst the states. That makes sense too, though, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Well, if only we could have the best of both worlds. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that part. So who came up with the New Jersey plan? Who came up with that? Who came up with the New Jersey plan? Lydia.
William Patterson.
Yeah, William Patterson. Good job, William Patterson. So 1 state, 1 vote, unicameral legislature. Good. So they're favoring the smaller states, and they want to make sure that the national government doesn't become too strong. All right, so there's heated battles over this. They're constantly going at it, these delegates of the states, and understand where representation falls and where it lands, okay? And what they come up with, which is the Connecticut plan or the Great Compromise. What did they decide on? Who wants to describe the Connecticut Compromise for me here? Alex.
They wanted a bicameral legislature with both the House for population representation and the House for people representation.
Yeah, good job. So they want a bicameral legislature. Okay, so they're taking the idea from the Virginia plan, and they're going to have a House of Representatives based off population, right? So representatives based off population, and then they have a Senate, okay, which is equal representation amongst the states. So 2 senators per state. All right. And then the election process goes, at the time, people were elected, representatives in the House were elected by the people, and then the Senate was elected by the representatives, okay, which will later change, which we'll talk about here today. Thomas Jefferson had a big stink about this, and he was really predicting the future with this idea. He's like, you know what, this is going to lead to a lot of corruption, especially in these bigger urban areas, these cities. Okay, well, he didn't know like these urban areas yet, but these larger states, okay, that there will be a little bit more corruption and problems that will be needed to be dealt with. And when we get to industrialization, the progressive era, that's exactly what happens. It's like he was looking through a telescope or something and knew exactly what was going to happen in the future. And we get the 17th Amendment, okay, 16th Amendment as well, trying to vote for, making sure that people vote for these senators. Okay, they just can't be elected by other representatives and to a point where politics becomes corrupt. Darn it. Good stuff there. Good stuff. All right, so what else can we add to the Great Compromise? Anything else? I think we're pretty much good with it. Oh, who came up with the idea? Who came up with the idea? He said, hold your horses, guys, New Jersey and Virginia. Calm down. Let's just take the best of both worlds here. Created the bicameral legislature, House of Representatives, population, Senate, equal representation. Who came up with the idea? Someone. Sarah?
Roger Sherman.
Roger Sherman. Yep, good job. Roger Sherman. Good. All right, so there's your bell ringer. And if you just write down stuff that we just went over, you can put that in your graphic organizer. Hopefully you turn that in for credit. All right, and I'll give you points for that. Right now I want to check the bell ringer. So those of you at home, please turn that in for today, Friday, 10/9/20, and I'll give you credit for it. I'll make sure you have it in by the end of the day today. So I guess midnight it would be. Everybody else will come around and check. Now your bell ringer, ready to roll. Lydia, what's good? Got 3 of them, right? Okay, just make sure. Oh, you messed it up. Pause it from last one. Yeah, I see. All right, good. Alex. Good work, sir. Home. You weren't here Wednesday. What should you do if you're not here? Yes, me, yes, well. You did? It died. Uh-oh. Can you charge it at lunch? Can you show me it then later? Are you gonna leave? Okay, sounds good. Come down 7th period or so. All right. That'll be good. Usually, if you don't have it, it means you're not prepared. But this time, strike one. Sound good? All right, so working on it. Okay. Good work, Joey. Sarah, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Were you at a meet yesterday, you said?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
A bunch of us played, so that was cool.
Nice. Good. Where was that at?
So that's what the league.
Cool. I guess they have a lot of land there to run.
Yeah, it's something mountain.
Oh, that has to be terrible.
It is.
It's awful. Alex, you were ripping up paper in there. That's someone else. Devin, you have yours finished? All right, sir. Good. What place do you come in, Sarah?
4th female.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
Overall, they count as separately.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really good. Are you proud of that, or?
Yeah, I PR'd on the course, so it's kind of
Good. How much time did you beat from your old time?
34 seconds.
Holy cow, you were moving.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah. Okay, I'll add those grades in once I'm not recording. Okay. Psych class got a little hairy, right, Alex? Okay, we'll move on here. Oh, 3/5 compromise. I want to go over that with you real quick, and then I'll let you guys work on the graphic organizer for today. Oh, I don't want American history. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So we just got done talking about the Great Compromise and how this was beneficial for everybody, all the states, right? We're taking ideas from the Virginia Plan and the New Jersey Plan and combining it together. And with that, we get the bicameral legislature, which we all know today, still around, House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay, we have representation based off of population, and we have it equal amongst the states. With representatives, what do we have? 435, and senators, we have 100. Yeah, there we go, 100. So 2 from each state. Good. Is there any questions on that, guys, before we move on? All right, Roger Sherman, what a guy, solving the disputes and issues. All right, next thing I want to talk about, which you'll read about here soon, and you can fill out this graphic organizer. 3/5 compromise. All right, so since the beginning of our country, this has been a debate and a discussion for obviously until we get to the Civil War, and even issues still lingering around today from, with minority groups and oppression throughout America's history. The 3/5 compromise, this was a way of, let's face it again, representation amongst the states. And if this wasn't solved, if this issue didn't pass through, okay, who knows? We would have probably started off our country separate from the South. It is what it is. I mean, there's different ideas and discussions on what our country should be like. Okay, if we should accept slavery, if we should accept representation based off the slave population, if we should try to tax some of these people that obviously hold slaves. All right, so the 3/5 compromise was a way to try to agree with one another on issues debating on representation and debating on taxes of these slaves. So the South, obviously, what did they want? What did they want? More representation, right? Yeah, because they're making all the money. They're bringing all the dough. Okay, they are creating these crops, obviously, like indigo, tobacco, the big one, cotton. Okay, and they needed this slave population. That's what they stated. And with that, they thought they needed more representation. They thought they needed more say in government because, let's face it, there's a bigger population down in the South. And they wanted to count the slaves as a vote, as a person towards that representation. And what do you think the North said? We're going to let them vote? They said, no, we're not. Okay, but well, why should we count that as as a form of representation in our government, in this new government that we're trying to form? And the South's like, well, they're people, right? Yeah, well, obviously you don't treat them as people. Okay, so the debate was, well, the North will allow it because at the time there's about 1.8, close to 2 million people in the North, okay, citizens in the North towards representation. They had a larger population than the South, okay, but when you add that number in with slaves, it kind of equals itself out, okay, to a point where the population in the South was a little bit higher. So they thought, well, if we count the slaves as 3/5, okay, as a representative vote, then we can tax that 3/5 the same manner. It will just equal itself out. Okay, so representation in the South, because they wanted to count the slaves, they said, let's just not count it as full representation. We'll count it as 3/5. Okay, but at the same time, we can levy tax, we can increase tax to the point where the North is getting an advantage of it as well. Okay, so with taxing, obviously the South, they didn't want their slaves to be taxed as a full person, as a full vote as representation. So they kind of had to give that up. They had to give that up to the North. Okay, and then the South, they are allowed to have 3/5 for that slave as representation towards their say in government. Okay, as we get into the 1800s, okay, moving up into the mid 1800s, that slave population will increase by 4 million people. So what do you think would happen with representation? Would it side more with the North or the South? Obviously the South, right? There's increasing numbers because of the slave trade happening. And it came to a point that if they were counted as a full vote, a full point of representation, then everything decided would be based in the South. Okay, the North really wouldn't have a say in what goes on. Right, so that was a huge discussion, a huge problem. And honestly, if the three-fifths compromise didn't happen, which is a terrible thing, obviously, because they weren't counting minority groups, African Americans as people, as a full representative vote, I don't know if our country would have really got started. Okay, I don't think this constitutional convention would have been accepted by the South. It would have been started off as two separate nations, two separate countries from the beginning. And the only thing holding it together was this compromise, unfortunately. Okay, obviously it was good that our country sided and decided on these things, but for the most part, this was something that we can't really accept to a point as being a good morale, a good bonding unity for our country. Does that make sense, guys? Right? Like I said, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that it's a good thing either. It's just to the point that's what actually happened. This compromise, if this didn't happen, right, our states, our country would be divided from the very beginning. And we'll see a civil war happening from already the origins, the creation of our Constitution. I think it's interesting when you look at it that way. It's like already from the start of our country, we had disputes and issues depending on slavery and how that would go. All right, another concern was commerce. Okay, remember interstate commerce. All right, the national government with the Articles of Confederation, they couldn't control that. And what were the states doing with one another? Were they competing against one another? Yeah, they were. They're putting tariffs on other items, okay, from other states, and they're trading with other European countries. It's to a point where the national government didn't have control of commerce, of trade. And with this constitution, the national government would take over this idea of trade and with foreign countries and make sure that interstate commerce, the states aren't acting against one another. Okay, if we have competition, if the states are competing against one another to try to eliminate their products or their goods that they're producing, this will mean war, right? This will mean some sort of issues amongst the states. So the national government will take that and take control of it. Okay, so we don't have the same issue that we're facing with the Articles of Confederation. All right, another thing is that export tax. Okay, so exports. The United States is, I wouldn't say the only country in the world, but one of them that doesn't have any export taxes, which is really good, right? And this was something that the states had to compromise on as well with the Constitution. Okay, if the South especially were worried that the North would control all types of exports, all types of imports coming into the country. And let's face it, the money was being made in the South. Okay, so they thought, well, if the national government's controlling the taxes, okay, or controlling the imports and the exports, they can tax, they can harm our production, our growth in the South of our finalized goods, our cash crops, okay, to these European countries. And if they do that, this could mean harm to our people and to our businesses, our plantations, mostly our plantations in the South. Okay, so we can't allow the North to fully control this. So the North's like, okay, we will do that. We'll make sure we keep that in mind, and we're just going to make sure that it's free export. We won't try to tax your goods. Okay, if we do that, obviously it's going to cause a problem in the marketplace for these European countries. Why would they want to try to buy these products if they're being taxed? And why would the people, if they're producing these products, want to tax? They don't want that. So free interstate commerce and free export. Okay, we won't have to pay in order to try to trade with other countries. All right. Is there any questions on that, guys? We good? All right. I'll post this assignment here. I think it might have done that already. Let me check once. And I'd like you to read through Chapter 2, Section 4 about the compromises that we just went over and we talked about and discussed. All right. And you guys can fill out this graphic organizer, have that turned in for Tuesday. You have a long time to do it, which is good. And I'll give you a grade for it. So you have some time to work on it here in class, about 10 minutes. So here it is, Friday, 10/9. Compromise and the Constitution. So here it is. You're going to go to Chapter 2, Section 4. Use your textbook, obviously. The online chapter, please. And complete that. So for the paragraph, you can do it on a Google Doc if you want, a Word doc, notes. Okay, screenshot it from your notebook if you want, and just attach it to that. All right, you know what we're doing? We all good? Okay. Also, those of you at home, remote learners, please submit your bell ringers to this post for credit so I can give you credit for your bell ringers. All right, that's all I got.